Well, hello there, YouTube. Welcome to another ride home. Well, do you guys hear that Harley? He's got his 8 hangers and all on there. So anyway, here we are once again driving home on the Spyder. Today was nicer, so I rode the Spyder instead of the Venture. Although starting out it was all foggy, so it kind of wiped the Spyder out pretty good right at the beginning. Ended up following quite a few trucks, and just the dirt coming off the trucks getting in the the fog, and of course it kind of looks like you rode down a muddy road. But anyway, after riding that Spyder for 3 days straight, between rain and somewhat nice weather, I made it home last night. I made it to Longview without getting wet. When I left Longview, about 5 miles or so out of town, it was a full-on black cloud gully washer, and Kelly decided to risk it and not put anything over her feet, so she got her shoes a little wet, but not too bad. She kind of stood on her tippy toes and kind of tucked in behind my legs, and it worked pretty good, but whew, it come down. But I every time I ride that Venture, I think, God, this thing is so comfortable. And I question, I don't know, maybe I just spend too much time on the Spyder, and I question just how comfortable it is. I mean, I know it's comfortable, but then I ride that Venture and I go, a 32-year-old motorcycle compared to a model year current model, oh man, I changed my mind within about 1,000 feet of going down the highway when I left this morning. And so did Kelly. She's back there going, oh yeah, way more comfortable. So yeah, hands down, I'd say for a motorcycle, shy the 1800 Goldwing, I gotta say that the Venture is probably the most comfortable motorcycle I've ever owned. And the Road King, a pretty close second. It just the only reason I wouldn't say that probably the Road King isn't more comfortable is it's just you're a little more out in the open. That big old fairing and all that crap on that Venture just makes the ride very, you don't get affected by wind, you don't get buffeted around, or it just slips through the air very, very smoothly. Where it's just a shield on the Road King. It's basically a non-dressed motorcycle with a shield you could put on any full-dressed Harley. So there's a certain amount of head buffeting, and you don't get a lot of protection out of it. But I like it that way. I wouldn't want that Harley to be full dressed like the Venture. I'm just saying, in comparison, I would say that the Venture edges it out a bit. And of course the luggage in the trunk there's pockets up front in the fairing, and all those things are all nice and convenient. But absolutely, after 3 days straight, and what is that, 400, probably 500 miles with going in and dropping Kelly off in Longview. So 3 days, about 500 miles. Hands down, the Spyder beats them all by a huge margin, and that's even with the little short bobbed off shield, which I have all the way down because I actually like it that way. I only lift it when sometimes depending on the wind and how much traffic you get into it can buffet my helmet and kind of irritate me sometimes, so I'll kick it up. But I like this look of riding with almost no shield. I know the GoPro doesn't reveal that, but it's really low. You gotta remember the GoPro's sitting, a good 6 or 7 inches below my eyes probably. So it's hanging down quite a bit. So you're getting this kind of scooped up view, plus, you know, the distortion of the fisheye. Then you add super view on top of that. But, and I gotta say too that there's something incredibly nice about coming to us, especially when you're riding with a passenger. And you just come up to a stop and you just stop. You know, there's no, you know, that big old heavy venture. You got to make sure, maybe, you know, careful where you put the side stand down, and, you know, I have to wait for Kelly to get off, and then when she loads back up, she's, you know, got to make sure I'm ready for her before she just, you know, steps up on a foot peg. And with the Spyder, you just come to a stop and hit the park brake. I can jump off and just leave her sitting there. You know, she can come and go as she wants, or I can come and go as I want once you're stopped. And there's no worry about where you're going to park it. Do I put it on the side stand? Do I leave it on the, or I put it on the center stand? Do I leave it on the side stand? What do I want to do? You know, nothing. You just find a place to park this thing. It's just like driving a car with no cage. So you get all the frills and thrills of riding a motorcycle, but on a different platform. So there, that's my thought between touring motorcycles and touring Spyders. I don't think anything's come close to beating the Spyders yet. And when I say the Venture, this thing beats the Venture, I got to say probably by a pretty good margin overall. I think I got tainted a little bit because I ride the Spyder so much, you know, over the last couple of years. It's just, you know, that normal thing. You ever had a car and, you know, you thought you got bored with it, sold it. Then years later you buy another of the same car and you realized how much you really liked it. It's kind of that feeling. But more comfortable or not, if it's raining out and it's nasty, I absolutely will not ride the Spyder. You know, if I'm out and I think I'm safe and I get caught in it, if I'm on a trip and I get caught in it, Kelly and I got caught in rain a couple of times going to Durango, and, you know, that's one thing. That's, you know, those are battle scars, so to speak. But purposely looking outside in the morning going, yep, it's pouring down rain, looking at the weather and saying, yep, it's absolutely gonna rain today, I am not gonna take this thing out. I'm a little too OCD to I'm seeing little dirt spots and stuff. I just gave it just a quick wipe down just to knock the fog look off of it, muddy fog. But yeah, I'll have to wash it because it'll never pass my my critiquing. And people look at it, you know, I don't want anybody to go, oh, look, you know, he wiped it down, but he missed all them little cracks. Look at all the mud down in them cracks. That's got to go. But that's just me. I know that's weird and picky, but that's the way I like it. I mean, we're all individuals. Some people ride these things and just, you know, they'll give them an external wipe down every once in a while and call it good. And generally speaking, the people that don't worry, let's see if I can quiet us down just a little bit. Yeah, you probably like that a little better, huh? That takes all that. I got a pretty healthy headwind there, and kind of loud on my helmet. But anyway, people that don't worry about things like I do generally probably are much freer feeling. Kelly's that way, you know. If I didn't ever wash that car, it'd never get washed. She don't care. She's not, you know, she just don't care. And it's not that I care what people think. I care what people think in the sense that I don't want somebody to think I'm neglecting something. I'm not one of these people that have to buy certain kind of motorcycles carry a certain kind of phone, or live in a certain area in a certain house and whatever. Keeping up with the Joneses type of thing. I don't try to impress anybody with anything. In fact, most of the things I like, most people tend to not like them. Maybe I don't know. It's like that dark horse, of the beautiful Indians that are sitting up there. That's kind of the black sheep of the family up there. A certain person, like myself, would like that dark horse. But several people are going, oh, that's, there's no chrome or nothing on it, there's little strips on the fenders. That's about it, little accents here and there, kind of like an iron is. An iron's not completely black, you feel, it's got little shiny spots here and there. No chrome, but it's got shiny parts. Just kind of accents. I guess, fork caps are chrome, and I guess there's little pieces here and there, but it breaks it up. Some people will just black their bike out, and then the bike loses all shape. It just becomes mute almost. And I think the same thing when people go crazy and they chrome everything. You ever seen the Harleys with the chrome frames? Or, even like that that soft-tail Deuce that I rode. That guy had they actually go on quite well, but they had the little chrome frame accents. They're like stick-on, bolt-on, or something. I don't know. I've never put them on before. But at first glance, it actually looked like it had a chrome frame. But they were add-ons, covers, and whatnot. I personally think if you over-chrome something, it kind of does the same thing. It loses its shape. And but that dark horse, arguably, is kind of lost in the black. But there's just enough accents and stuff on it that, I don't know, that just pushes all the right buttons for me. And that motor has just got the craziest low-end torque. I mean, that's a short shifting bike right there. You just kind of roll in and shift. Roll in, shift. You don't rev nothing out on that thing. It builds maximum torque at a fairly low RPM. But it's cool. It's not a Harley. I know, you gotta know, because just the way they want their dealership, their showrooms set up, and all the hoops they make us jump through, and just the way certain things are done, they definitely have their scope pointing at Harley. They're after that market, some of their share. I'm sure that's the goal, to be like Harley or take Harley over or something, as far as sales. But yeah, you're not gonna. It'll take a long time for them to. Harley's in no trouble by no means. But Indian has done just an incredible job with that thing. The fit, the finish, the way they run, their attention to detail just through everything. Even, hooking it up to the computer or, a handheld, and, seeing all the diagnostic stuff. I mean, down to the most crazy things you can see. It just shows me it's a company that really, really cares. So, but, if I was to ever get that dark horse, it wouldn't be to replace one of my Harleys. I can't think of, I only have two now, so there's none of them I'd get rid of. I just wouldn't get rid of it. The Iron and the Road King. The Iron's special to me. The Road King is like one of those unbelievable barn finds that still doesn't seem real. And I keep that thing buried and covered up in the garage. And it's almost like I forget I have it sometimes. And it's like, shit, let's take that old Road King for a ride. Yeah, it's so enjoyable to ride. It's not fast, it's got, the brakes are okay and the power's okay. But It's old. It's 13 years old. But I don't care. Everybody goes, geez, you gonna put the 96 kit on there, or the, what's the other one that's popular? Not the 103, but a 110 or something. Goes, oh yeah, you need to get all that done to it. And it's like, no. She's gonna stay stock. Oh, but then there's that one part. The cam chain, the cam chain tensioners for the dual cams are gonna blow up and sack my motor. Give me a break. But yeah, I love that old gal. Ooh, I got the suspension set a little high here. It's a little stiff going across there. Anyway, I babbled on for almost 20 minutes here, so I'm gonna set my cruise so I can let go of my throttle hand here, and I'm gonna let you go. So just a little after work. I needed somebody to talk. I'm on my way to pick up the little woman. If she's not completely burnt out, maybe we'll try to do a dual vlog. Last few nights she's been kind of just riding back there, silent. I hear quite a few yawns, that's about it. Otherwise she just sits back there and I think she's nodding off. But at least, hey, there's my Element. It's not mine, just like it though. We got tires coming in for it tomorrow. That'll make her happy. I told her last night, I said, well, they've already had the tires there. I just couldn't get you to ride enough, so I come up with this wild story that it's not safe to drive it until the tires come in, so I just told them we'll make an appointment for Friday. She paused there for a second. She knows I was just kidding. But it made her think for a second. You're going, you son of a gun. You forced me to ride in this rain for nothing? One of our stores is the Dick Hanna Toyota right there in Longview. And it's right by our work. So ordered the tires through them, and I think Kelly's got an appointment for tomorrow. We'll see. I haven't talked to her. She's so busy she don't answer her text or anything. But anyway, I've actually kind of liked the idea of roughing it a little bit. But our Toyota, the tabs have expired on it, and they're about to renew anyway, so if I went and got tabs for it, I'm going to pay for a whole year for a month. So I could drive that. I wouldn't want to drive it all the way to Vancouver. That's way too far. I mean, I've done it many times, but yeah, too risky. That thing could leave me stranded or something. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's never done anything to leave me stranded ever. And how many years? Good Lord, too many years to count. 36 years. Yeah, crazy. I've had it for 36. It's 38 years old. Yeah, 38 years old. And I've had it for 36. But anyway, we need to get that Honda Accord we got going. It's actually a nice little car. It's an older car. It's a good work car, you know. But she needs a little TLC. We kept putting that thing off, and Kelly goes, something somewhere along the line is going to happen, and we're going to need something more than that truck and the Honda. We need to get that Honda Accord going. I said, yeah, I know. And here the time came. But we always got a bunch of motorcycles to back up on. At least it's not snowing and stuff. Then, yeah, I'd be scrambling then. Going and renting a car or something. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. Got a bit here to go to catch up to get the long view and say hey with the little woman. About 20 minutes maybe, I think it is, from Woodland. But anyway, I'll talk at you later. We'll see you. Bye-bye now.